If you are trying to make the varsity basketball team, this video is for you. This is my full blueprint designed to get you on the varsity team as fast as possible. I'm going to warn you about the pitfalls that I fell into so you don't make the same mistakes as me. And I will let you know about the valuable lessons that I learned along the way that took me 4 years of high school basketball to actually learn. So you'll be able to get all this information now. Also, I do have chapters put on this video, so if you want to skip around, you can, but I would recommend you watch the whole thing because there's going to be gems throughout the whole video. Alright, so the first step within phase 1 is something that anybody can do, but the vast majority don't. So step 1, set massive goals. This is going to be tough for a lot of you because we were all indoctrinated into this thinking that we gotta be realistic. Just be realistic, bro. That is one of the most angering phrases I have ever come across. I can't stand that phrase, just be realistic, because most people don't even know what realistic is, man. People just think that, oh, you know, success is just something imaginary and only a certain amount of people can get it. Stop with that. Stop thinking success is a scarce asset. Oh man, I can go on a rant about this. Look, man, if you want big success, you have to set big goals. And here's a metric that you can apply to your goals to know if they're big enough goals. If the goal doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. If you want an example of this being put into action, let me tell you about my high school basketball career. As a freshman, I was slow, a little bit chubby, I was a little pudgy, and I only grew to 5'9". I'm still 5'9" even after high school. But I decided to set big goals. 1,000-point club, MVP, first team all conference, and I achieved a lot of my goals. The only way that was possible was if I had those goals in the first place, because they drove me to work harder than anybody else. I dealt with injuries, and my genetics aren't the best, so you can go further than I did. There's nothing special about me. There's nothing different about me that you can't achieve. Those big goals that you set will pull you to achieve things that seemed extremely far out of reach. Now let's get into the next step within phase 1. Develop mental toughness. I need you to understand, you will get knocked down many times. You will fall. You will make mistakes. But if you get embarrassed by that and you get all upset about it, you're not going to go very far. I need you to disconnect your mental state from how you perform in basketball. It's a tough thing to do, I know, but you need to have self-worth beyond the game. You need real inner confidence. You need to learn how to ignore other people's opinions, the crowd, your coach yelling at you. There's so many people in your life that will try to tear you down. And if you let them, I guess you'll be torn down forever. Kobe has a great quote. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody will do it for you. You have to be your own best friend. You have to be your own hype man. You have to always be in your corner, man. Also, let me tell you this right now, okay? I hate to see this because young players get negatively impacted by this all the time. Don't just listen to anybody you see on the internet. Look, form your own opinions about me too. Don't just take everything I say and just run with it. Don't do that. Do your own thinking all the time. People will believe their way of doing things is the perfect way of doing things, and they'll try to put their methods onto you. Some training methods that people have just suck. They suck. If you put in the work, you have a specific routine that you like and that you can stay consistent with, you will improve. Stop falling for these videos that say, oh, you got to get this equipment that you can put on the backboard like a plunger, and then it, will make you change your layup patterns, and oh, well, you got to do this exact drill where you spin around 10 times. Oh my gosh, dude. So many people fall for that. And you know why it is just rampant within the basketball community? Is because that stuff is so different and people go viral because of it. People love novelty. People like new things. Don't fall for every shiny object you see around you. It's just like The Matrix. It's the woman in the red dress. If you've ever seen that movie, you can understand my reference. All those new and improved ways of training are the woman in the red dress. And if you keep changing what you do, you keep flip-flopping, you're not going to see consistent growth. So find a workout routine that works for you and stick with it. By the way, I have workout programs in the second link in the description, so feel free. Now the last step within phase 3, this may be the most important part. This is for my Christians out there, man. Walk by faith in Christ. You gotta trust in Jesus through your journey, man. You gotta understand that he's empowering you and he's giving you the strength to get through any obstacle. There's a verse, don't lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. I had doubts. I struggled with faith a lot through high school, and I'm very grateful to say that I've come to really trust God more. Don't think God is mad at you. Don't get worried that your success is unrighteous. Glorify God through your success, man. All right, y'all. It's time for phase 2. Fill the team's gap. This is the fastest way that I know of to get yourself a spot on the varsity team. I want you to take a look at your team. Look at all the players. Look at the coach. Figure out how you can fit in that system. This is just going to get your foot in the door. You're not going to be a star right away, but if you can get consistent varsity minutes and earn your coach's trust, then that leash will get less tight on you, and then you could experiment more and become a varsity star. If you want another personal example, when I was a sophomore in high school, I barely got any minutes, but I realized my team needed a shooter, so I maximized my shooting, and I started to get some minutes. The fastest path to becoming a varsity starter, or at least getting varsity minutes, is to become specialized in a skill that your team needs. You gotta think of it like a business. It's supply and demand. So let's say there's a high supply of good finishers on your team. Well, if you try to fill the role of a finisher, they already have that, so they don't need another one. But let's say there's no shooters. Now the demand is really high, so you can fill that spot. Now look, man, this is very powerful. This is gonna get you varsity minutes, but I also want you to do what's best for your basketball journey. You might want to think long term. You should weigh the pros and cons of having freedom to just play on JV and be a star over there versus getting some experience on varsity. I don't know which one will be better for you. It's all about what you want. All right, phase 2, step 2, learn how to train strategically. I would recommend hiring a trainer if possible. I saw a lot of growth in my basketball career when I had somebody that really knew more than me giving me advice and helping me work out. A lot of trainers can be very expensive, so try within your budget. If you want a budget-friendly way to get basketball advice and improve 5 to 10 times faster, I have that community. If you want to work directly with me, get in that community, man. All right, on to the next. Practice relentlessly. I want you to be the first one in the gym and the last one to leave. I'll never forget during my high school years the silence of an empty gym, and that thought in my mind that just kept spinning. When is my time coming? When will I get recognized for my hard work? And it's a tough feeling to deal with. You feel like you deserve more minutes. You feel like you deserve the success because you're working harder than everybody else. I know what's going through your head, man. But stay with it. Don't stop. Because your success might be just around the corner. I debated quitting basketball when I was younger because of that very reason. I wasn't seeing success. But I stayed with it, and I'm so grateful I made that decision. To give you some context, I scored 13 varsity points on the season as a sophomore. And then in my junior year, I scored 410. Also, one last thing to mention, focus on quality of your reps, not just quantity. If you're doing a shooting workout and you shoot 100 shots, but you're not really paying attention, you're just kind of going slow through it, you're not going to improve as much as shooting 50 different shots in 5 different spots off the dribble and going at game speed. Keep that in mind. The last step within phase 2. Challenge yourself against better competition, man. You should ask varsity players to 1v1. I did that all the time as a freshman and sophomore. And you could ask some of the guys that graduated before me how often I asked them. It was after every single practice, sometimes even before games. And those guys didn't always respect it. You know, they were like, all right, bro, you're just a freshman, bro. Like, get out of here. But sometimes they actually did 1v1 me. And even when I got beat, I still learned a lot from it. And also, I gained a lot of confidence when I won because I saw the varsity starters were on the same level as me, or I was even better at the time. Learning from tougher opponents is what will really accelerate your growth. Also, when I was a junior and senior in high school, I made sure to always say yes to freshmen that asked to 1v1 because I saw myself in that player. All right, let's get into phase 3, man. Go to all the varsity games. Sit in the bleachers and actually study it. Take a look. See what everybody's doing. Look at the play calls. And by doing that, The coach might look up into those stands and see you. He might say, oh, this player's committed. He's not even playing on varsity, but he still is at the games. He's supporting his teammates. I wish I did that more. I was so dumb for thinking this, but I was like arrogant. I was thinking, man, if I don't get varsity minutes, I'm not going to waste my time going to the games. But how dumb is that? By going to the games, you support your teammates and you build rapport with the coach, but also it shows that you're dedicated. It shows that you're committed. Don't overlook that. Also, by attending those games, you have more time to spend with the coach and he gets to know you more. Honestly, man, I wish I did this. You could talk about the game with the coach. You were there. So you could say, hey, you know, coach, you mind if I talk some basketball with you? You know, yesterday in that game, I noticed we kept missing that backdoor cut. What would be your advice for players like me trying to get better at that, finding the open man? A coach is going to love that. Of course, don't crap on the coach's game plan. Like, you know, coach, I was watching the game yesterday and your coaching kind of sucked. Don't do that. That's not going to help you very much in getting playing time, but talk about the game with the coach, man. All right, step 2 in phase 3. Seize your varsity opportunities. Congratulations, your coach is now giving you an opportunity. Do not do what sophomore Mark did. You get into the game, you look like a deer in the headlights, and you pass away every single time you catch the ball. Don't do that. Once you start deferring to all your teammates, that's going to show the coach you don't trust yourself out there, and you're not ready. I wish I could go back and say to my sophomore self, hey buddy, you have nothing to lose. You're already getting 0 minutes. So you might as well be aggressive. What's the worst thing that can happen, bro? Like, honestly, what's the worst thing that can happen by you being aggressive? Oh, you make a mistake and then you get subbed out the game? Boo-hoo! You were already on the bench. Once I started seizing my opportunities, I started to get more minutes. And I had a buzzer beater in my sophomore year of high school. So that's how I earned a lot of my respect and got more trust from the coaches. All right, last step within phase 3. Please understand this, okay? You have to understand the difference between discipline and just having fun. If you truly love the game of basketball, you shouldn't have to use your discipline for every single workout. Yes, there are going to be days when, oh man, I just don't feel like training today. I just want to lay in bed and do nothing. And on those days, of course, you have to discipline yourself to get the work in because there's things that you want to achieve, right? But if you find yourself having to use your discipline every single day, that could be a sign that you don't truly love basketball. But if you wake up every day ready and energized to get better, improve, get your good workouts in, I think you're going to get much farther than the other guys that discipline, Sigma, grind, set their way through it, you know? So truly love the game and figure out what you love about it. And go all in, man. Do you like dribbling? Do you like shooting? Figure out what it is and have as much fun as possible. Here's a good analogy for you. Let's say your basketball journey is like a car. The fun is the fuel for the engine. That's the normal gas. And that discipline is the booster that's going to make you go even faster. You can't run solely on that booster. You need the fuel in the first place. Phase 4. Let's get it. Build relationships with the varsity players, man. Try to get within their friend group. Try to hang out with them outside of basketball practice. Let me tell you something very important, okay? The guys that are on the varsity team and have an open dialogue with the coach might just mention how hard you're working. Might mention how cool of a teammate you are. Just saying, bro, it's possible. They might talk you up if they like you. And let me get this out the way, bro. Respect the varsity players, but don't idolize them. Don't put them on a pedestal. They're just like you. They just have a spot that you want. Ask the varsity guys for advice and learn from them, but don't accept some stupid freshman or whatever underclassmen treatment. Alright, congratulations. Now you have meaningful minutes on the varsity team. Great. Let's talk about being a team leader. Set the culture. I'll tell you how I went about it. I hated freshman treatment. And that's what I was going through during my high school years. The underclassmen were treated like dirt because, you know, the varsity guys didn't respect them. When I became the captain of my team and I was the leader, I set the culture. I said, there will be no more freshman treatment. We're going to respect the guys that are working hard and trying to work their way up. We're not going to try to tear them down. I explained to my teammates that we want as much help as we can get. So why would we try to bring down our possible future teammates? I always thought that was dumb. So whatever you want to see out of your high school team, be the change. Make the difference. All right, now last, but certainly not least, balance your success with perspective. If you follow everything I told you in this video, you will be successful. I know that for a fact. But you got to be careful. A lot of people get success and it changes them as a person. They end up not enjoying the game they once loved because they start chasing stats and accolades and milestones. I can tell you from personal experience that getting those milestones and getting the accolades, the trophies, all that stuff is pretty cool. Okay, I'm not going to try to sell you a lie that, oh, it doesn't matter at all. No, it feels pretty good. But it doesn't fulfill you, that's for sure. It might give you, some pleasure and some appreciation for your hard work, but it's not going to fulfill you like having fun will. If you enjoy the game of basketball and you bring other people up with you, you become a great teammate, great leader, cool guy, you make good relationships with people, that's what you should focus on. That's what will actually make you feel good for the long term. The trophies are on my shelf over there, picking up dust, but the memories and all the great friendships I made are still present. If you want to work directly with me, get in that community, man. And if you want to learn the 7 habits that may be holding you back in basketball, click here. But as always, keep God first. Stay blessed, bro. Love y'all, boys.